Welcome, Coaster Nerd fans! I'm here today with a review on Timberwolf at Worlds of Fun. I just got back from Worlds of Fun a week ago, and I thought the park was awesome. It kind of had that Dollywood type of feel, but it didn't feel like Dollywood at the same time, not Southern. But it did have lots of theming and interesting stuff to do compared to other Cedar Fair parks, which I can only compare Kings Island and Carowinds to. Which Carowinds, I was very young, so I'm not going to compare it too much to Carowinds. But compared to Kings Island, it's, even though it doesn't have as many rides as Kings Island does, it does have more of a nice theme to it and feeling. It doesn't feel like a Cedar Fair park whatsoever. It feels like something like Dollywood or some small-owned park. Anyway, let's just go into the video. Okay, the stats. It's manufactured by Dinn, which doesn't exist anymore. It's a wood coaster manufacturer. It's a height of 100 feet, and it opened in April 1989. Okay, ride experience. First, you go up this lift hill, which is about 100 feet. Then you take a right, or go up, you do a little dip, you go out to the left, and you do a first drop. Then you go up to a U-turn, you turn around, got some pretty decent airtime hills. Then you go into this helix. Now, which the helix starts the second part of the ride. The helix, yeah, I will have to say they need to replace that. It's pretty rough. I got jolted around a lot, and it was pretty painful. And then you turn back, get some airtime hills, do a U-turn around, and then you do this quadruple up into the brakes, and then you turn around and go back into the station. Okay. Is this an underrated coaster? In my opinion, yes. This is a very underrated coaster. When I came into Worlds of Fun, I was expecting, oh, this is going to be probably one of the worst wooden coasters I've ever ridden. It's going to be worse than Race or at Kings Island. It's going to be jolty and kind of like Wazi at Busch Gardens. But I was very surprised to actually realize this is a very fun coaster. I enjoyed it quite a bit. In my coaster rankings, I mean, it's not my top 20 or anything like that, but it's definitely a good coaster for Worlds of Fun. And I would be one of those people, if they decide to take out Timberwolf, I would be very upset. It has a good ride to it, if you know where to sit. The back, I wouldn't say so much, but the first 6 rows, I will have to say this is a good coaster to ride. The back's fun too because you come up from the seat, but overall, this coaster is very underrated and definitely not by far the worst coaster in the world, like it gets. Overall, is this a bad ride? No, it's not a bad ride. The second half with the helix and a few of the airtime hills, I will have to say, get GCI in there, replace some of the track, redo the helix if you have to, anything to make that last part better. Other than that, I find this a phenomenal coaster. A very underrated coaster by coaster enthusiasts. Personally, if it wasn't for the last part of helix, or the helix, I would say this is better, in my opinion, it could be better than Mamba, which Mamba is a pretty good coaster. So I'm probably hyping Timberwolf up a bit more than I probably should for other people, but don't listen to people who say Timberwolf and Prowler are really bad coasters or just rough. They're not rough. Wood coasters have a nature that, yeah, they have a nature that makes them good or bad for some people. But I just think even the logo for Timberwolf is amazing looking, and I hope they don't turn this ride down, especially since there's only about 5 Dinn wooden coasters around in the world. another Dinn coaster is going down at Six Flags over Georgia with Georgia Cyclone, but for being one of the last Dinn coasters, I will have to say, if this coaster does get RMC'd, I'm going to be very sad to see it go. But if it gets RMC'd, which I hopefully it doesn't, which this isn't a prediction video, but just saying, if it does happen, since Cedar Fair is working with RMC, I'd be really disappointed. I'd rather see a ground up Woody. But I know a lot of people aren't that big fans of Timberwolf, which I am. A pretty big fan of Timberwolf. When I went, I rode it 10 times. And I rode majority of the seats, so yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. Same with Prowler. Prowler is probably one of my favorite coasters. Top 15 coaster. But anyway. Okay, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, comment down below, give me your thoughts and opinions on the next video. Please subscribe. I'll come out with more content. And so just another heads up, I have plans for Holiday World coming up in September, so I'm going to Six Flags Great America in October. Dates have not been finalized yet because of the fact I have to run cross country, so the dates are not finalized for that. Also, for Christmas, I'm going down to Dollywood for their Christmas celebration. So hopefully I'll get lots of pictures and videos of the Christmas celebration at Dollywood. I'm also going to either Busch Gardens or SeaWorld Orlando, as in Busch Gardens Tampa. So, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you out there.